How much life insurance should I have? It's different for every single one of you in the room. There's an acronym to remember. DICE, D-I-C-E. If you don't do this simple calculation, you don't know what your real death benefit need is, just rolling the dice. You have no idea. Debt, income, college education, if you got kids, it's important, and then end game. Think final expenses, funeral, wake, stuff like that. Debt. Probably the biggest one's your mortgage, right? Start with that, $200,000. I'm going to use that number, nice round number. We've been working on that. $200,000. Anybody got car loans? What's car loan? Give me, even if you make it up, what's the car loan amount? 20 grand, okay. Another $20,000 added to that. Anybody got any credit card bills? Make it up, shout me a number. 2,000, I'm going to use 5, it makes the math easier. Thanks for helping. Any other debt, maybe borrowed money from your parents to get the house. Maybe borrowed money from a rich old uncle. Whatever it is, you take that, anything you owe anybody else, you add that amount up. That's the sum total of your debt. Income. Your family's going to want your income replaced. You're not there anymore. You're not working. Question to ask yourself is, how long do I need to replace it for? How much of it? Probably less than you think. You don't have to replace it dollar for dollar. Remember, we've just figured out everything you owe anybody else is taken care of now. It's all squared away. You know, anybody, any money, maybe you need less income. One of the ways I like to think about it and go over it with my clients is, how old are your kids? How long do we need to replace that income? You know, if you got a 10-year-old, maybe you need to get them into their late teens, maybe into their early 20s. So figure 10 years worth of, if all of this stuff is taken care of, 10 years worth of half the income, and make up a number. If you make $50,000, we're looking at 25 that we got to replace for 10 years, 250,000. College. Sometimes circumstances changes. If you're no longer there, maybe you're going to help your child go to college. Maybe you're going to pay for it if you could. Maybe state school is the answer now. Maybe they got to work. Everybody says, well, I want to leave something. Most of my clients say, I want to give my kids something if I'm not there anymore to help put them through school. Whether that's going to 4-year school, 2 years associate's degree, or I got clients, I know my kid's mechanically inclined. He wants to work on cars. She wants to be a vet. It's whatever it is that's personal to you, come up with a number. And we're going to make this easy. At college, let's throw $100,000 on it until I need an easier number. And we have that end game, final expenses. Even an inexpensive cremation, just cremation, close to 10. I'm going to call this 250 to make my numbers easy. I'm going to call that 250 because that's what it is. We've got 500,000 there, another there. Let's say you want to throw a real big shebang like me for that end game, 650. Not all of it has to be covered the same way. How am I going to get that index universal life policy, Sean, to cover that $650,000? All right, so maybe you have a mix. Get some term insurance to cover this big stuff, the big debt. Get some term insurance to cover the income that's always, on some level, going to need to be replaced. And then smaller amounts, this is what I can afford in terms of permanent life insurance, because you're always going to need that end game amount. Questions on that? Encourage you. Take that acronym home. That's how I did it the first time. I was still a property claims adjuster. I'd called one of the 800 numbers you probably hear on the radio. Cheap insurance, that's what I want. I want cheap insurance. Well, you get what you pay for. Woman on the phone said, you need 10 times your salary. That's what we recommend. Why do I need 10 times my salary? Well, that's just what we recommend. Thanks for the help. Went home, sat down with my wife and said, all right, what do we owe on the house? I backed into this number by accident until I was taught how to do this right. What do we owe on the house? My son at the time was probably, 7 or 8. Do we want him to go to school? Yep. What else? What do we got for cars? Probably numbers not dissimilar to that. What are some of the other things we need to take care of? What about income? How much more of my income do you need every year? If all this stuff's paid off, Sean, I probably don't need a lot, but it'd be nice to have a cushion. Think about this. If you lost your spouse or significant other, on a Friday, could you go back to work on Monday? Things to think about. And then, again, for everybody, sometimes it's religious, sometimes it's how big a family you have. That end game number is different for everybody else. My dad was sort of a staunch Catholic, going to have to do the whole funeral wake type thing. My mom said, nope, burn me, spread me out at the Cape. Okay. This number is different for everybody.